Hey everybody. I've never really done any streaming before, so I'm just kind of messing around with it today. Just kind of screwing around, having some fun, playing around with OBS Studio, which is open source studio software. So, we'll see what happens. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty exciting. I've never actually had the opportunity to do this before. Just playing around with it, seeing where it takes me. Um, and getting used to YouTube. I guess it's a little different than Twitch or something like that. But it's pretty neat. I'm pretty impressed by it actually. I'm not sure how to share my URL, so I'm still working on that a little bit. Going into that, not really seeing where I might find that either. But yeah, I mean it's definitely interesting. So, just kind of poking around, playing with stuff, and see what happens here. See if I can kind of pull up my URL. Try to find it. I'm just gonna mess around until I find it in here. It's got to be in here somewhere, right? So let's see if we can find it. So what would happen if I follow this link? Where does it take me? It takes me to my channel. It tells you that I am watching, that I am live. So if I click on that, it's going to make annoying noises. And I could give you the exact video. So that's kind of neat, I guess. So we're going to remove that. Add the website in here, worttechnologies.tech. That is my business website. Of course, I'm going to put my business logo on there. You know, it's kind of free advertising if I'm doing that. But I'm just kind of playing around a little bit here and checking out all the weird things that you can do. So it's pretty exciting, really. But yeah. Talking about copyright strikes or something weird like that. Okay, so if I do this and I click on this video and it's going to start playing audio, sorry about that, guys. I'll go ahead and do that and copy this over, and then maybe I'll just pop it on Facebook real quick into the group and get some people going here. Yeah, looks pretty neat so far. I'm gonna go ahead and pop into my other group here and just go ahead and just spam. Oh, why not? You know, it's a good time. So, did notice in the dashboard that I have, it doesn't really give me a lot of it tells me how many people are watching, but I can't really see the names. It just says one person's watching. Oh, I see, there's a thingy here. Okay, so you can share that like that. That's neat. We might just do that. Let's just do that real quick here. We'll go ahead and post that to Facebook. That was easy. Twitter, can I do it to Twitter? It says I gotta log in. Sure, log in and tweet. Let's see how that works. Just kind of messing around a little bit here. Twitter's telling me that I've logged in on. Oh, okay, that's nice. Oh, I can share it to LinkedIn as well. That's kind of interesting. So go ahead, if you pop up in the channel, just say something so I can figure out who you are. What's your? I don't think I want to share to LinkedIn. That might not. You know, who knows how that might go. But very interesting. So it's not too hard to do, really. Um, not as hard as I thought it would be. But yeah. So this is, I kind of like have my website there. You can kind of check that out. It's got some stuff on it, but I haven't really got it done yet. I really need to dig in and do some more stuff and fix a few things. But I've actually kind of had a rough week, so I haven't really gotten into that too much. So it's been an interesting week, to say the least. That's for sure. I am pretty excited though, to be able to start a business and things like that and move on. It's pretty exciting, and I'm glad to be a part of that and be able to serve the community and kind of showcase my skills, if you will, and put that out there. So it's pretty weird. Oh, looks like somebody's joined us. It's frightening. But yeah. Yeah, again, I'm just kind of messing around here. It's not nothing serious or anything. But I'm just kind of giving a shout out. I'm using System 76 Galago Pro to do all of my streaming, and I gotta tell you, it's streaming this like no problem at all. Actually, I could probably show you here how it's doing if I can pull up my monitor. Let's see here. Because I mean, I had some concerns when I first purchased it that the CPU power would not be quite enough or quite what I was looking for, but it's actually done a very good job, and I've been quite impressed with it. Okay, well that's no fun. Unfortunately, Ubuntu does seem to have some issues because of the high DPI scaling. It's kind of messing around with my menu here, and I don't like it very much. So I would have to. I think I can kind of change it on the fly here. I don't know if that's going to affect anything or not. But let's see what it does if I do that. Just go here and display and just kind of, maybe I can put the launcher in all the, let's put it in the Dell. Let's see if that changes anything for us. Looks like I lost OBS. It's out in Wonderland now. Thanks. And we are back. Still messing around with OBS a little bit. Still kind of learning the ropes here. You know how that goes. Let's see if I can pop this open to show you the monitor. Okay. So here you can see the monitor running. So this is the mobile processor. So it's not nothing like super fancy. It's not the what is it, the super core version or anything, but it's the i7-7660, whatever, the 7th generation i7 mobile processor. It is dual core, and then has 4 logical cores, and so you can see those logical cores obviously moving around down here, and then of course the network bandwidth is going on as well. But it performs very well. I have a hard time bogging it down. And this is doing encoding. It's not doing any disk writing. Well, I mean, sure, it's doing a little bit, but it's doing the encoding and it's doing the uploading all at the same time. So it's doing quite a bit there, and it's handling it pretty well, impressively. If I could be so inclined to say. So that's pretty neat, I guess. But yeah, let's see if I can go ahead and I'm going to shrink this down a little bit. Okay, maybe, wrong one. There we go, pop that back under me, just for fun. I think it's just kind of neat to see that there. And then we're going to go ahead and bring up another window, and I'll open up Firefox again. So it's not too hard to do that. We just got to pop that open, and then we're going to do this, and pick which window I want, which is going to be this one, and swap a red blue so the colors are correct. And we're just going to drag this over here, and we'll go ahead and make it a little bigger for us so we can see it. Okay, it's pretty nifty. So go back to my website here. All right, good. So that's all working pretty well, and you can kind of see everything that's going on. And I can do this, move this up here. Okay, just like that. Then I can actually take this image and actually move it up. So now it's on my head. And that kind of makes it kind of cool. I thought. Yeah. I'm kind of a dork, but yeah. Now there's this like over here. Yeah. It's kind of weird. You know, trying to grab it. You know, no, I can't grab it. Bummer. Maybe if I was more coordinated, I could like grab it and move it and make it look cool, but I'm not that coordinated. But yeah, I'm just playing around with this. It's called OBS. Here, I'll show it to you if you ever want to check it out. That is not what you were supposed to do. That is bad. They went to the wrong one. So why did it go to that? I don't know. Well, let's do OBS. So it's called Open Broadcaster Software. And of course, see, it's in the wrong window, so you can't see it the way you should be able to. But I think that I can shrink the window down. And there we go. That's going to give you a better view of what so now you can actually see what I'm looking at. So it is for Windows. It does work on Windows as well. It works on YouTube. I don't know what Hitbox is. It works on Twitch, Hitbox, YouTube Gaming, and I recommend it. It's very, very easy to use. I mean, really, it is. You just kind of put things in here and there, and then you're good to go. So it's not hard at all, and you can really get going pretty quick. And it lets you stream, so you can capture individual windows, entire screens, however you want to do it. Like I'm using individual windows. You saw there's kind of a bug there, but it's all open source. It's all free. So that's the best thing about it, in my opinion, is that it's open source and free. So I wonder what would happen if I were to drag that out of there. Oh, that's fantastic. That's exactly what I wanted to happen. So sweet. Yeah. So overall, it's pretty good. I'm trying to look at my stream health here and see how that is. It doesn't look like I can see that. Oh, okay. So yeah, it says okay, you might be experiencing minor issues. Unfortunately, I don't know why. Maybe I just need to restart a cable modem or something, or maybe my kids are sucking down all my bandwidth, you know, who knows. Maybe it's a bad time to stream. But yeah, I mean, I really like the software, so just messing around. And big shout out to Charlie Powell over at Eval for kind of showing me the ropes on OBS, or at least showing me OBS itself. It's pretty cool software, so I'm pretty excited by it. So yeah, just kind of messing around here. I'm gonna go ahead and change this one over. Actually, I gotta turn it on first, but I'm gonna change this over to my terminal if I can. Which maybe, hold on, let's see if I can do that here. So we want to see this. Yes, that is awesome. I love it. We're going to make it a little bigger though. So we're actually going to make it quite a bit bigger. And then we're going to move it up. Alright, so if we go into my terminal here and just, you can do various things like just run a command here. Just like I said, we're just kind of messing around at this point. That's pretty cool. So it's going to display the output of that video. Pretty easy to use. Doesn't seem to be giving me any problems, and you can see I misspell a lot. Hey, look at that. So, yep, my system's fully updated. That's great. And then we can SSH into my web server and make sure that that is also up to date. And of course, I'm signing as root, so I don't have to sudo. Pretty neat there, just kind of letting it run. And it's not as fast as this computer, obviously. It's just a virtual machine. So yeah, there's some updates. So it'll go ahead and let it run those updates, and just kind of having some fun here. So yeah, YouTube Live is pretty neat. I'm okay with it. So we'll update my website. It uses Core Plus, which is actually developed by Charlie Powell over at Eval again. Pretty nice framework. It's super secure, kind of really does a good job. Let's see if I can kind of show you that without being insecure. So I don't even know if I have this set up. No, I don't. Oops. So I don't, yeah, so so I mean, this is my kind of like my development server, and so I just, you know, it's really neat. I really like this. So whenever I'm messing around or I'm changing a bunch of settings, or if I'm doing really anything at all, I can use this, which this is an option that you can actually turn on in the settings, and this will allow me to see what Core Plus is doing and how it's doing this. And then of course I can log in as well. So I'll just go ahead and do that. I'm not even sure what my login details are. So yeah, so I'm fully logged in now. And you can kind of see the different options that you have here as an administrator. You can hook right into the GitHub, or you can use a source to do updates as well. It allows you to add your GPG keys, all these things. You can also add it into some accounting software, Beans Books from System 76. You know, there's a lot of stuff that you can do, and there's even more stuff that you can do with it. So you get the base system, which is kind of which is free, and then you can get different features that require licenses. Obviously, you have to pay for those, but those are very helpful. And we call it enterprise, but those are very helpful. But I mean, even as a base system, it pretty much has everything that you could ever want to set up your website. And so this kind of gives you the ability to program a website without having to program it, but still at the same time allowing you to have custom themes and just easily configure it. So you can do all these things, you can change all these things, you can add these links, and that gives you like a picture up there that's going to show you, so your users will be able to click on it. You can do a lot with the skins, and then of course you can add custom CSS. So you can see here this is smaller because of the stuff down there, but you could actually, this is actually bigger on the other versions, but since I have the window a little smaller to show you, but you could actually add your CSS into this, or you can literally add it into the server. You can change it and then upload it back into the server, and then you just save it, and then it will change your settings. So you still have the ability to do advanced customization of the entire product. Not to mention, you have performance options. You can plug this bad boy into Google Analytics, all these other things, performance options. You can actually change it. So if you don't want to use the micro versions of Java and CSS and HTML, I don't think Java, I think it's CSS and HTML, you can switch over to the larger, which takes a little bit more time, eats up a little bit more processor, but there might be a reason that you'd want to do that. And it has a lot of different abilities. Allows you to change your CAPTCHA, so there's CAPTCHAs on the website so you don't get bots. And it also gives you a lot of security information, so you can actually check out your security log, which hopefully mine's empty. Obviously it has my successful logons. You can see it's all local, so this isn't even actually open to the internet. This is just for me to poke around with and play with. But you can see that it gives you this log, and then it also allows you, to blacklist IP addresses just like any other time you would. There is no blacklisted IP addresses. But funnily enough, I mean, it's very interesting. So you get a lot of websites kind of searching for a way in, bots looking for WordPress admin, which is one of the reasons why WordPress is kind of insecure. And this actually will actually do it behind the scenes. You won't even know what's going on. But any bot that tries to look for that WordPress admin and tries to do anything to that page automatically gets banned, which is great. So that IP address gets banned. Anybody trying to mess with things that they shouldn't be, I mean, they just get the boot. So that's pretty exciting, actually. So I like using Core Plus. You know, I got a lot of learning left to do and a little bit of customization that I'd like to do that I just haven't had time for, unfortunately. But as time goes on, I hope to be able to get into a little bit more and change things. And that's why I set up this, which is on my home server, which is actually right here behind me. You can see it there. So yeah, I got this big fan on it because it's summer and it gets hot here. But this is a Dell PowerEdge 2950. So it's a little older. It's an older server, but it's running virtual machines, and all those virtual machines are putting out everything. So you can actually go and check those out. We can look at. Just kind of load the. Hopefully you can't see what password I'm typing in. Also, reflection of my glass would be awful. But you can see. So I have a few servers here. They're all themed in the name of Death Note. But so this is all running on the same platform, and it's running off of. Proxmox, so Proxmox is the base system. And you can see here that it's running all this stuff. So normally the utilization isn't too bad. So usually I'm not even over 20%. I'm not even, and this is a pretty old server. So, but it does good for me. I get to break stuff, and it's a good time. So it's got 4 Intel Xenon processors. It actually has 2 sockets, which means it has 2 dual core processors. Again, it's a little old. 16 gigs of RAM. You can see that, so it's pretty pretty good stuff there, and it gives you good information right off the bat. You kind of see where things are at. And then if you want to see a little bit more detail, you can go over here on this side, and you can bring up individual machines. So this is L, which would be the file server. Anytime I'm doing anything with files, obviously my RAM's going to be up because it loads it in RAM first. But right now it's pretty idle. So if I were to jump on and start downloading some files or anything, then that would go up. So it has an uptime of 37 days. Pretty impressive. This is the router. So again, you see that it's got a pretty high memory usage, but this doesn't quite update correctly for some reason. If I actually go into the router, it's probably going to show a much lower memory usage. So it's like as soon as it gets to that point, it doesn't scale back. I'm not quite sure why. I haven't really got into it yet. Again, this is open source, so I could look into that and see what's going on with that. But yeah, it does. So as a system, it's pretty good. You see all the CPU usage, which is naturally going to go up because of the traffic. And I guess I'll show you some Proxmox later, or some maybe I'll go over how that works later, the routing system, which is using the firewall pfSense, so that'd be kind of a fun time to talk about pfSense and how that works. So this is Watari, which is kind of funny. But this is a different server. This is basically the accounting software server for my business. So again, this one doesn't get used too much. All it is really doing is running a web server so that I can get into Beans books when I want to. So it's pretty good. It runs really well, and it's super fast. I mean, I gave it 2 CPUs, so which I never use. It only has 2 gigs of RAM, but it doesn't need that much. And it's good. And the great thing is it runs backups automatically, things like that. So if anything ever terrible happens, it's backed up to a portable hard drive, removable hard drive, and then I can just reload the entire setup. So I don't have to worry too much about having those backups not working. Excuse me. And so anytime this server or something were to have terrible to happen, or if I, as does happen sometimes, break it, I would be able to simply just bring it back up from the backup. So that helps, and that's one of the advantages of using this kind of product with your virtual machines. And then this one is Yagami. So this is the test server, and this is where we were looking at the website earlier, and that's actually where that comes from. So it comes from that. Oh, that's neat. So I'll show you whatever window I moused over. I didn't realize that. That's cool. Okay, so this right here is just running a basic test server, and I gave it 4 CPUs. I really wanted to see what I could do for like load testing, how many users. And I've played around with it with different configurations, like 1 CPU. And other than the install is pretty heavy. So when I'm installing Core Plus, it is pretty heavy. It does take quite a bit of memory, quite a bit of processor. So if it's going too slow, it will time out. So you have to make sure that you have some decent hardware. But it doesn't have to be like anything super special. I think that a Raspberry Pi, I had a few minor issues installing it with the timeouts, but it was okay. I had to edit the PHP file to allow a longer timeout, and then it installed no problem. So Raspberry Pi has enough power to run Core Plus pretty easily, can serve everything. Again, the install is pretty heavy. But yeah, that's what I do with that. And I can change the cores on the fly, and well, not on the fly. I got to restart it. But yeah, essentially it allows me to do those things, and it's pretty nifty. So I like that. Oh, excuse me, I'm tired. And then of course you have some storage information and things like that. All can be found in here. So adding storage, taking away storage is pretty easily done. So. But yeah, this is pretty good software. I've been impressed with it so far, and then it runs everything pretty dang well, actually. And then the other one that I'm using for my router is actually called Man, I keep forgetting it. PF Sense. I keep forgetting it today. So that's at 10.0.0.1, and we can look that up just for fun, because I'm just kind of screwing around at this point. So we log in here, and we can load this up, and you can see this is all running. I have an OpenVPN server, really easy to set up and configure. And then of course it has traffic graphs as well, so you can see WAN. So I'm actually hitting quite a bit of traffic. Yeah, I got 20 megs of traffic going on, megabytes. So that's quite a bit. So I think I changed that to megabytes instead of megabits. No, it's at bits, so that's right. But yeah, you can change that as well. It kind of gives you a better idea of what you're looking at. So all this stuff kind of shows you what your network's doing, and you can do so much more than that. So I'll show you some stuff here, just to kind of give you an idea. So this is Snort, and what Snort's doing is Snort is basically kind of running in the background, eats up an amount of processing. So you really have to kind of decide if you want to use it or not, because it does use up a lot of processor. So typically, I mean, I like to use it because I have the processing available and the RAM available to do it, and it's kind of fun to see what's going on. And then if there's any attacks or anything like that on my network, I can diagnose those pretty quickly in that way. And then you see it's built on FreeBSD, and it's pretty exciting stuff. Excuse me, what's wrong with me today? So there's a lot of features in this. So you have Cert Manager for like anytime you need a cert, so like SSL certificates when you log in an SSL. Because if you look here, you see that it says connection is not secure because it's a self-signed certificate. So you could actually add a legitimate certificate there as well. It's got a package manager. You can actually download and add programs to this straight from the source, or you can SSH in as well to do it. It's got a setup wizard, updating, all that stuff's in there. Talks about your interfaces. You can change things on your interfaces. It's pretty standard. Firewall, so you can add anything to your firewall that you want. It also has a traffic shaper, and that allows you to like lower some bandwidth for some people or give more. Much like what is it called in another term? Probably plug and play or whatever they call it. I can't remember. But you can do that with other cheaper routers as well. This one just gives you a little bit more options. Under services, this is really where things start to get powerful, because not only do you have all these services such as DHCP, you can change your DNS forwarding, your resolving, your dynamic DNS, so you can actually include a dynamic DNS server right into this, and it works really well. Your time servers, your Snort, your simple network management protocols, UMP, all this stuff is in here. Yeah, universal plug and play, that's what it is. You wake on LAN, all that stuff. So you can use all of this. Here's Snort. I'll show you Snort real quick. And so I have block disabling. It's blocked, but you can see that it's running. And we can actually pull up the log as well and see all of the stuff going on. And then of course we can look at the alerts, which is really where you're going to spend most of your time. So you can see the alerts. It's just unknown traffic alert here. So we could actually like figure out whose IP address this is, look that up and try to figure out what they're trying to do. So that's port 80, which that's interesting. And you can see that. So it's pretty powerful, gives you a lot of options, and you can go ahead and I went ahead and put that in the suppress list just to see what's actually going on here. But you can check out your suppress list. You can look at your pass list, your block list, and your global settings. So Snort will kind of acts as like a firewall buffer almost. So you have your firewall, which is going to prevent most intrusions, and then you have Snort, which can detect anything that's getting through the firewall that maybe shouldn't. And you can actually set it to use rules. By those rules, it will block any access from those. So it's pretty neat that it does that pretty easily, and it really it does it super automatically too. I mean, it's really easy. So that can come in handy for corporations, companies like that, to have all that power to be able to block certain websites. So like I have children, and I can block them from getting on YouTube because some of them were looking up some pretty shady stuff on YouTube. You can also check your status. It does have some good status information, graphs, what's going on, where's your processor at, your utilization system resources, all this stuff is going on as well. You get gold, so you can buy pfSense gold. I don't really know much about it. I haven't really messed around with that or got into that, but yeah, it is there. You can get it if you want it, but you can do pings right from the router to make so if you're having internet issues and you can't figure out if it's you or the router, you can actually come in here, ping straight from the router, and see if you have internet or not. So that kind of tells you what interface it's on. So it's pretty neat. And again, I'm running a VPN server right through here. It's pretty much stock. Like, this is pretty much stock. I think all I had to do was I had to download this program that allowed me to export client keys, which makes it more secure because now I have keys for everybody. So you have to physically have the file that I give you in order to use my VPN. But virtual private networks come in handy. And that's what allows me to do all my development and my testing, access all that stuff from anywhere in the world, so I don't have to actually have it set on a live web server, which can be insecure on a home network. So, yeah, it's got an uptime right now of 26 days. It hasn't been restarted. You see I'm using about 49% CPU. Actually, the traffic graph is, oddly enough, takes up quite a bit of CPU to run that. I don't ever understand why, but and you can see I'm only using 5% of the memory. So, and then you see the disk usage. So I think I only gave it 30 gigs. I'm only using 30%. Very, very little at all. So if I want to go in here to, Snort, I'll actually shut off Snort for a while here and see if I can increase my traffic. Oh, it's just that easy. Just hit the stop button, Drew. It's not hard at all. So yeah, pretty easy. And then we can go back and just kind of go home here. And there we go. So actually loads it even faster. But pretty interesting stuff. Pretty nice. It's a good time. Good time by all. So, yep. So that's kind of how that works. That's fun. I might talk about it more later. But right now I'm just kind of, like I said, I'm just kind of screwing around and not even, oh yeah, you can't go back. Oops. So yeah. If you have anything that you'd like me to talk about, maybe any questions about technology or anything at all, really, just leave a comment and maybe I'll put a stream on. So thanks a lot. I hope you guys have a great day. I think I'm going to go cure my yawning with some sleep. So thanks a lot, guys, and we'll be seeing you later.